Hello and welcome to Low Budget Gaming and welcome to another first Descendant video. So I wanted to make some updated build guides for a few of the popular guns like the Thunder Cage over here. And the reason for this is we have the new core system in the game which makes them even more powerful. At the same time, this is one of the guns that you find early on in the game as soon as you finish the campaign and you reach endgame. So I wanted to make this video as a sort of updated video for newer players to the game while also adding the core element towards the later part of the video so that you can take full advantage of the gun. Now, the core system is great, but for guns like the Thunder Cage, it is perfectly fine without the cores, and you can clear most of the content in the game comfortably. So all of the missions out in the field, whether you want to clear outposts, whether you want to clear the 400% dungeons, this gun is perfectly fine in the hands of pretty much any Descendant. It's not even like a gun suited for any particular Descendant. I'm using it with Keelan here. You can use it with Bunny, Sharon, whoever, Freyna. This gun works perfectly fine. Now, as far as the Void Erosion Purge and the later stages, you probably only really need to use guns from 25 onwards. And even then, there are other guns much suited for the job. So you have Albion Cavalry Gun in the hands of Haley, Last Dagger in the hands of Clay. So you can use those guns here, so you don't even need to put cores on guns like the Thunder Cage, but you can make them more powerful, more fun to clear content much more easily. So that is the idea behind this video. I'll focus on this gun as a gun for newer players. So I'll just talk about the mods and things like that. And once you are later on in the game and you have unlocked the core system and the Void Erosion Purge, you can add some cores to make it more powerful. This will also be a non-glay build because recently the trend has been to turn every gun into a glay setup. And the reason for that is the core system is not very flexible. You cannot change the cores easily. So I'm making this as a non-glay build. Okay, so let's first look at the unique ability of the gun because that is the one of the best things about this gun. It's a great selling point. Now the gun is pretty solid, has good fire rate, among the higher fire rates even without the cores, has a good firearm attack, reload is fantastic, decent crit rate, crit damage is good. The only sort of weakness is the weak point damage. It's not that great, so we are not going to use it for like aiming for the heads and things like that. We'll use the unique ability. So the unique ability, when you defeat an enemy, when you kill an enemy, it causes a explosion, so electric shock wave here, and within a 5-meter radius it will do extra damage to nearby enemies. So one enemy dies, causes an explosion, enemies nearby take a lot of damage as well. And if you do a lot of damage, you can actually kill them without even shooting at them. So what I'll do is I'll summon some level 100 Vulgus. Level 100 because, like I said, most of the content, hard content enemies are level 100, apart from maybe the later stages of the Void Erosion Purge where they go up to 260. So I'll focus on one in the middle. Chances are when this one dies, it'll kill one or two of them as well. Well, more than one or two. So we killed 1, 2, 3, 4. I think 5 of them died. So that's how this works. You kill one enemy, causes an explosion, kills another. Let's see if we can do this over here. So this is basically the best part of this gun. The unique ability is a very good SMG, lightweight, has decent ammo size. You can kill a lot of enemies very quickly. And early on when we were playing the game, we were using this to clear outposts with Sharon, 400% with Bunny and things like that. So really good gun, all round fantastic gun. Okay, so first let's look at the build, then we'll look at the extra features. So this is your standard stuff, your build guide. Like I said, the gun has good firearm attack, has good crit rate, crit damage. So we'll build with that. So rifling reinforcement, as usual, we have action and reaction. These two give you firearm attack. Then we have fire rate. To increase the fire rate, you'll shoot faster, you'll empty the magazine faster, you'll do more damage per second. Then we have a couple of mods, expand weapon charge and concentrate support ammo to increase the ammo capacity because the SMG doesn't have a lot of ammo in the gun. And then we have mods to increase the crit rate and crit damage. So we have better insight, better concentration, concentration priority, insight focus. All of these will add crit damage, crit rate. And then our final mod is the electric enhancement. You can put any element you want. I have put electric. The unique ability and these are not connected. You can put any element. You'll do the damage of this type of element alongside the normal firearm attack. So you'll get 30% of the firearm attack as electric. So you'll get a bonus 30% damage. And then you can trigger the status and do some more damage. So overall, fantastic gun, very easy to build as well. Now looking at the rolls on the gun, I've gone with firearm attack, critical hit rate, critical hit damage, just safer options. Since the weak point isn't great on this, we are not focusing on weak point. You can put element if you want. I've put electric here, basically what you get with the rolls. You can put rounds per magazine. Maximum you will get is 3 extra bullets with the 12% if you can get the perfect 12%. So I put electric on it. I'm using this as electric once again. Now on to the new stuff, which is the cores. With the cores, what I've gone for is in the free slot, I put firearm attack. In the firearm attack, the normal orange one, I put firearm attack as well. In the red one, where you can put crit damage, weak point damage, or fire rate, you can go with crit damage. I have tried this with crit damage and also with crit rate. Now with the crit rate, I was getting about 46% over here. And this was about 6 point something crit damage. So with the crit damage, on the third one here, 100% crit damage, I'm getting 8.6 and 33% crit rate. So I felt this was more balanced. You can go with more crit rate, you'll have higher chance of critting, but you'll do less crit damage. You can use both are fine. Now in the green slot, you can either go with more ammo or you can put fire rate. Okay, so I've put fire rate here. I've got a 17%, which is good enough. This takes it over 1149. Makes it very fast, very fun. But remember the issue with the fire rate in this game. If you go too far up, you lose bullets. Basically, your bullets disappear. You don't do damage. So try not to go too high. This seems fine for me, 1149, but you can keep it lower at around 1000. And instead of putting fire rate, you can put ammo, and you'll get a lot of extra ammo in the gun, which will make life easier. In the final slot, I've put recoil because the gun has some decent recoil. So putting a core 10, we are reducing the recoil and just making it much more easier to shoot. So if you haven't put a recoil code, you can compare with what I'm showing here. Basically, point somewhere like this and don't pull the mouse, just hold the left mouse button and you'll see some recoil. You can see here the recoil is not very pronounced here because I've put so much recoil reduction on the core. So this just makes it easier to aim. So yeah, that is it. That is the build, and I'll show you the final numbers. So we are getting almost 40,000 firearm attack. We are getting almost 13,000 electric attack. Remember, we have electric on the mod and on the roll of the gun. You can put electric on the core as well if you want it. So for example, in the free slot, instead of firearm attack, you can put electric. That will just make it a little more powerful if you want it. But yeah, again, we don't need it for most of the content besides the void erosion punch. Now, as for rounds magazine, we are getting 48. 46 would be the normal number. Because I'm using the Slayer set with Keelan over here, we are getting 2 extra bullets. Reload time is 1.4. We have slowed down the reload time a little bit with the concentration priority mod, but it's still pretty fast. Critical hit rate is 33.36, so almost exactly 1 in 3 bullets will crit, and we'll do almost 9 times the crit damage. So 9 times this number, combine both of these times 9 will be the damage. So you do a lot of damage. The attribute isn't great, weak point isn't great, aim shot is pretty good, hip fire, aim shot, both are almost, you could say 90%. This one's a little lower, but again, very good. And yeah, so overall, really comfortable, easy to use gun, still very good. What we have done is we have taken an already good gun, made it a little more powerful so that it still does what it was doing, but just even better. So let me just show you against the 260 enemies as well, because that is the highest level in the game. And while they'll not explode in the same manner as we saw earlier, they'll still take a bunch of damage. So you can see here they're still taking damage. He's lost about half his health and so on. So need more ammo. But yeah, you'll still do a lot of damage. But like I said, you won't run into 260 enemies unless you are in the dungeon. In which case, there are better guns. You still take care of level 260 enemies fairly quickly, even with this submachine gun. So that is basically it. So like I said, if you are new to the game, this is the first gun that you run into. You'll get 2 copies when you finish the campaign, and you can build it up like this. This will carry you comfortably through most of the content in the end game, and you can add cores to just make it even more insanely powerful. So yeah, that is it for the Thunder Cage. I think pretty good still. And yeah, if you have the mounting for it, make sure to use this for anything other than Void Erosion Purge and perhaps the Defiler.